Welcome, affiliated listeners, to another episode of the Affiliated Podcast. And today we have a trifecta of awesome. I shouldn't include myself in that trifecta, but two amazing guests from honestly probably the largest, if not the largest, one of the largest affiliates, media buyers, and agencies out there driving traffic. If you want to know a lot about driving a lot of traffic, having a lot of success, we have the two people you want to hear from, especially in a really tough environment. A lot of people are struggling with paid media now. So we're going to be first having one of our biggest affiliates on here. Super excited, from Barcelona, joining us in their evening. We have Berk, Cakar, and we have Batug. And oh my gosh, Batug, I'm going to get it. Let me get your last name, Batug Oymak, joining us with Maverick Media today. How are you guys doing? Obviously in the most beautiful area of Spain, possibly Europe, of Barcelona. I hope you guys are doing well.
Yeah, hello Kyle. Thanks for having us. We are really, we really appreciate and thankful. And hello from Barcelona. Yeah. I'm Berk Cakar. I'm a lead media buyer in Maverick Media. I strategize and manage the campaigns of Maverick Media with, of course, with our team. We are media buyers of 8, and I try to strategize and scale campaigns.
You're the pretty girl at every ball, Berk. I'll tell you what. The lead media buyer. Everyone wants to talk to you. That's amazing. So, Batug, could you tell us a little bit about what you do at Maverick Media, and then we'll jump into it a little bit more.
Hello. As Berk said, thanks for having us. I'm Batug. Someone calls me senior media buyer in Maverick. Someone calls me offer hunter. I don't know. We are not focusing on the titles, but what I do exactly in Maverick is I meet with the vendors, I take their offers, create the funnels, I test them, and as soon as I find something profitable, Berk comes and steals from me in order to scale. So this is how we work actually. So basically, he's the Messi of this campaign, while I'm just
you're doing all the
trying
hard work,
to assist
right?
them.
Yeah,
there's always one superstar in the team, and I think, but it doesn't change the fact that we are good as a team. So, and we love him, of course.
Well, I'll use a modern NBA reference as we're going into the finals. I feel like you guys are like Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving is the backcourt, which who wants to pick? They're both amazing. 2 Hall of Famers. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to choose, right? But I will let you guys fight over who's Luka and who's Kyrie. So we'll do that at a different time. Send you off in your evening. Well, anyway, guys, really glad to have you here today. So what we're going to focus on, what I really want to talk about, and for the listeners here, again, we're going to have audience and be able to ask questions with one of the biggest media buyers in our industry right now. So really exciting stuff. But before we jump into that, I think oftentimes you guys probably get a lot of people that aren't quite sure exactly what you do, or they might have some misconceptions about it. So are you an agency? Are you a power affiliate, super affiliate? Maybe a little bit of both. Why don't you just walk us through a little bit about what's unique about Maverick Media and how you engage with clients from what other people might be experiencing outside, I guess, what they normally think of, the preconceived notions of what you guys might be.
All right, let me briefly explain who we are and what we do. So Maverick Media is a media buying agency, and what we do here mostly native. So we do native ads. We scale our clients' campaigns with native ads. We have been doing this for the last, let's say, 10 years. I mean, Maverick is a 12-year-old company, and but the focusing on the media buying side with the native ads has been, I think, 10 years already. And I don't think that we are super affiliate, because when you say super affiliate, it refers to an individual person. Actually, as Berk mentioned before, we are a team of 8 dedicated media buyers with media buying background. And we are just working towards the same goal. So we are like, I don't know, we can call ourselves Avengers. So that would explain.
That's right.
Avengers, yeah, that sounds good. That works. But no, essentially, you guys. So just so I'm understanding, essentially, you're just operating at a very high scale performance. It's like you're like not a super affiliate, but you're a team of just high performance media buyers that could go out through native ads, and we'll talk more about that. But it could go out and drive mass amounts of traffic through native advertising, which I imagine is probably, at least what I see, one of the more stable traffic sources that you could even get into right now. So is that what you say? That's correct then? So and 8 people, 8 different media buyers is kind of how the team works and operates. Or can you talk a little bit more about how you guys go about working with offer owners and things like that?
Um, well, we have 8 people in the team, in the media buying team, but not all of them are doing actively media buying. So we have a structure in the team, which is a test department where I lead the team, and which is the scaling department where Berk leads the team. And we have some ad operation team who also has a more than average knowledge of, actually not average, it's perfect knowledge of media buying, especially in native ads. So usually when there's when we need a help for the extra eye, all 8 eyes on the campaign. So we that decreases our margin of mistake to the minimum, because there is not only one person responsible for the campaigns. Everyone, when they look at the campaigns, they are able to see what is wrong, and they have they can take the initiative to just fix the mistake. So I think this is what makes us. So we are just working towards the same goal.
Yeah, no, I love that. So you guys have a large distribution of individuals. So it's not normally when you're working with an affiliate, you might have a VA that is on that team, but it's pretty much just them, which could be good and bad, right? They might know a lot. You might get along with them, but at the same time, like you're saying, when you have a whole team, those campaigns, you're able to get so much more efficiencies. You're able to really scale them, probably I think more sustainably, not necessarily faster, because sometimes an individual might be just as fast, but a lot longer and probably higher quality, I would imagine. Would you
Yeah,
guys agree with
exactly.
that then? Berk would be the scale
Yeah,
master. So
exactly. As Batu said, we're like, I would say we're a perfect team, and Maverick also growth. Like when we start the company, we didn't have those departments, and now since the Maverick media is growing in the last 4 or 5 years in a rapid pace, I would say now we delegate all those tasks that took too much time for an individual, and now like media buyers like me and my colleague Claudio can scale in a faster pace, and then we can focus on only what is working on actually. So like the things that we got from Batu, they're proven campaigns. So that's why when we take over, we know that there's a potential, and we can push to the limits.
yeah, no, I love that is very unique, I think, because like you said, most of the time that's one person that does the testing and the scaling, which is a challenge. And oftentimes I see a lot of affiliates, they might be pushing one offer because that's what one individual could do. But I imagine for you guys, Batu, you could be testing maybe multiple things while you're scaling, possibly multiple offers at the same time because they're separate. That allows for so much more efficiencies. And I know you probably can't share too much information, but like, does that like, on average, how many offers would you say you're scaling versus testing on a normal basis?
Well, when it comes to testing, I think in a month we test more or less 10 different offers. Sometimes these tests includes our existing offers with their different version, different angles. Maybe the vendor provides different, I don't know, layout, maybe different headline, anything. But apart from it, we are trying to put our hands on at least 10 offers in a different niches like health, like e-com, and yeah, we test a lot, like, because it's the key component of the success. If you don't test, you never know what's gonna win and what's gonna be successful. So testing is the key.
Especially, I would like to add, if you consider if you consider our market is such a dynamic market, like you need to test a lot of things, and then you need to test things in a most efficient way, because you also need to you need to put money on those tests. And I mean, what we do actually, what Batu and his team is doing, is very efficient in terms of like they know how to test things. We all create our funnels on our own, and then uh, once it is proven, we get the offer. And also, I'd like to add, the structure is actually the most important strategic decision you can get in media buying business. Well, it's I think it's any business. So that's why for us the structure is the key component of our success, and we value it a lot.
No, I think that's fantastic. I really appreciate that. And I want to say, like, I love it because one of the synonymous things we see, and I would tell you, it's the biggest difference between brands, companies, affiliates, agencies that succeed, especially for a long period of time, and those that don't, is the testing phase. How efficiently and often they could test. Because I think a lot of people try and test, but they do it so inefficiently, it becomes too expensive. It takes too much time. So they stop doing as much of it. But I really love that you guys, like you said, you have a structure where you have a team that specializes in it. So it's all they're doing all the time, making sure it's the most efficient, the most effective, increasing the volume that they could test, freeing you, Berk, and your team to just scale, knowing that the testing's already happening. We are just focused on pushing volume at the max capacity. I think you're right. That structure is so key, and it's different. We don't see a lot of agencies, affiliates doing that, probably because a lot can't. They haven't built out those teams. That's sometimes a different thing when you're managing an entire team versus an individual. I mean, lots of us could barely manage ourselves, let alone more humans, right? So I could imagine how that would be a barrier for some, but see how it's really working for you guys. So with that being said, what do you guys? I'd love to kind of talk about some of the industry stuff right now, and especially I think some of the things you're seeing working. So you mentioned a lot of different verticals. I don't know if you guys could share. Are there maybe some particular verticals that you guys? I put it this way. I think we've seen a lot of people in the health verticals see some changes and some shifts. So I'm wondering what you guys are seeing in those changes in terms of, hey, here's some things that have been working, or maybe it's just, hey, we've moved on to different verticals because health is such a struggle or going through such a change right now.
Let me start with this question. First of all, the success never comes from only one campaign or one vertical. The reason why I believe we are successful at what we are doing is because we have a multiple campaign, multiple verticals. I mean, a portfolio of good campaigns coming from the good vendors. So I think it wouldn't be possible to scale this amount of the revenue with only one vendor or one campaign. But what we do here is native, and so far we always saw the success with the health niche. So of course there are some ups and downs, fluctuations. This is normal because it's a very dynamic industry, and as you know, now the summer is approaching, and probably all the weight loss offers are trending now because now the market, the users, the audience, they want to lose weight to be ready for the summer. So if we were just focusing on the one vertical, let's say weight loss in this case, we would be making money during this period. But what are we gonna do in November, in December? So I think another success to be successful, another thing to be successful is just following the trends. Of course, sticking to one vertical might bring you short-term gains. I mean, if you are a seasonal media buyer, I don't know if this word exists, but if you are just doing media buying during the summer, yeah, go for the weight loss offers. But if you want to maintain your position, you need to adapt, you need to follow the trends. If you are doing the health, go for the weight loss during the summer. If you are doing lead gen, there's a Medicare enrollment season coming in September, October. So yeah, and the listicles coming during the holiday season, the gifting season, November, December. So yeah, these are the a few important things that any media buyer or any business development manager should follow. I don't know if you agree, Berk.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely agree with you, and I think I mean I would categorize like two different uh, in a two different way. Like one, that there are some verticals that is always going good. I mean, of course, there are some ups and downs, but in general, for example, like fungus, we have been running it for like 6, 7 years. Blood sugar, the same. And then there are some other verticals, and also weight loss. And there are some other verticals that are more niche, that like neuropathy or edema, like these kind of new health niches that wasn't matured enough, I would say. So, and then there's also like the ones with trends. We can put weight loss into that category now. As Batu said, it's summer, people want to lose weight, so that's why people are more perceptive, like they they're more willing to click those weight loss advertisements. So that's why I would categorize in three different ways. Like one, the new niches, new health niches, and then the other one is like long-lasting fungus, diabetes, this kind of, and then the other one is the trend.
Yeah. No, I mean, I love that, guys. That was a fantastic answer. I think I love particularly one of the first things you said is it's not just one. If you're levered on one offer as like your entire success, it's really, really challenging when things change to pivot and still maintain a certain level of scale. It's always beneficial to be promoting more than one thing, just because sometimes it might be doing well, but three things doing well all of a sudden looks pretty great, right? Versus one thing doing well. So I really, really love that. As well as, like you said, the trends. I think that's key. One thing I was going to tell you too, I love what we talked about, like the long-standing stuff, fungus, and blood sugar. I was like, the conditions of old. We're all going to continue to age. So if you're investing in products that seem to assist in the process of aging, you tend to be in a good spot. And I would agree with you. Fungus never seems to go away. It's been around ever since I was here, and it seems like it's going to be around even when I'm gone. We all have
Yeah,
those
exactly.
feet. But no, I really love that. And I love, especially to bring up weight loss right now. I mean, listen, I'm sure many of us that live in cold states put on our swim trunks in the last month and thought, what happened? Like, all that added Christmas winter weight is not so fun right now. So yeah, I could see obviously a great time for these things. And I'm hearing traffic sources are picking up with some weight loss and things like that as well. So going to the next question, one thing I really want to talk to you guys about is you mentioned, hey, we are a native media buying agency. And I think that's kind of interesting is even a lot of agents, I see a lot of people dabble in native. Maybe they like native more, but they're always using all the other platforms as well. Or I think people are really attracted to your YouTube and Facebooks. So I'd love for you guys just talk a little bit more about why native for you and what you find a little bit different about that traffic source versus the other kind of tier one socials that a lot of people gravitate towards.
Yeah, well, Maverick Media started native ads, I think, 7 years ago. So so far, I mean, like since then, like we improved a lot. Our team increased in terms of numbers, and we acquired a lot of knowledge about native ads. And because of the nature of the native ads, it's generally the audience is more of older people, because those news websites are visited by mostly people with health conditions. I would say,
And so, and real fast, can you just pause? I know it sounds like super rudimentary, but will you just pause and say, since the nature of native, can you just describe what the nature of native advertising is for those that might not know?
yeah, sure. Okay. So native ads actually, as you can understand from the name, it doesn't look like an advertisement. Like it looks like a news article in the news website, such as like you go to bbc.com or msn.com, you're trying to like read some article about the topic, and then you see like at the end of the article you see an ad. Actually, it's called editorial. It looks like a real article from the news website, but then we try to educate. Actually, what we're trying to do, trying to educate the customer to the offer, to the value proposition that we're gonna give in the offer page. Like it can be related to fungus, diabetes, and anything you want to run. Actually.
That's awesome. Yeah, I appreciate that. It's an amazing source. So, you could see how when you're on that source, like you said, older individuals, one, like it's hard to meet a millennial that ingests news that isn't out of TikTok or YouTube. So I can understand that you're going to see older demographics gravitating towards those. It makes so much sense as you go into weight loss. We know that's a huge category when we get older. We talked about the other conditional stuff, and then new trends as well is going to be key in those areas as well. So perfect. So yeah. So with that, you have a good audience of older individuals. What else about native makes it a little bit more desirable versus like your Facebooks and
Well,
YouTube?
I would say it has ups and downs, but not as Facebook or Google, because the one of the most common problem about Facebook and YouTube is you start a campaign, you start to scale, and then one day they just block your account or campaign, which is very painful. I can say that. I mean, in native ads, it doesn't happen that way. I would say, of course, it's also related with the relationship with the platform, because Maverick is the one of the best clients of Altcoin, Taboola, and other native platforms. So that's why we have better relationship, we have better communication with them. But at the same time, it is more consistent in a way that we can keep our volume. Actually, this is the main reason that most of the vendors like to work with Maverick, because we bring constant volume and then value to them, and they can easily forecast what revenue they're gonna have with Maverick Media when they work with us. So that's why this is that's why I would say we are good at what we do.
I want to add something here.
That's awesome.
So Berk is speaking on the perspective of the media buyer, but I want to speak on behalf of from vendor's perspective. Let's say, usually when I believe if one vendor has to choose one publisher for their offer, let's say Facebook publisher and the native publisher, probably they will choose Facebook publisher because they know that Facebook is a huge platform, there's a huge audience, or there are lots of opportunities. But most of the vendors, they don't know that native, according to us, I mean, this might be different for other people, but native is more stable traffic source in terms of the sales and conversion. So yes, I agree that Facebook publisher can scale one offer in 1 day, 2 day with 6 digits, maybe even 7 digits. It's possible, but the after 1 week that account is gone and it's really hard to get it back. So, but with the native, I always tell our vendors that look, we are going to start the campaign, and if everything goes well, you will see the sales like one sale the first day, two the second day, five in the third day, 10 in the fourth day. After 2 weeks, you will see 3 digits. After 1 month, we will just keep it stable and we will push as much as we can. So that's why I think what makes native different than Facebook and YouTube, less account issues and more consistent, let's say.
Yeah. And I just want to say that was a great description for both you guys. Really, really appreciate that. And just for those who know, seeing the back end of the data, you're 100% right. I kind of think of it's like sprinting versus being in a marathon. You might get some wind sprints on your Facebook, but the marathon runner is going to cover a much longer distance over time because they don't have to stop, take a deep breath. And sometimes they just won't get back to wind sprinting again. And you just have missed out on that affiliate, that traffic, whatever it might be. So I love that you put that in. Sometimes I think Facebook, YouTube, they feel like the sexy, attractive media sources because they have big tech behind them. Not that native doesn't. It has a lot of big tech behind it, but I think people just don't think about it. It's not out there. There's multiple networks, which we're going to get into in a second here. But that was a really great description. I want you, all the offer owners out there to know, and the affiliates out there to know, I had seen it time and time again. They are the most consistent campaigns, and it's a not even that slow of a burn. It's just a nice gradual buildup that sustains for such a long time. Really, really fantastic traffic source. With that being said, You mentioned you're working with the two big networks and then a lot of different networks. I actually want to circle back on that a second. Before that, I want to talk about one of the big things I hear a lot in native is dynamic insertion, or kind of doing more programmatic advertising versus like direct insertion or direct listing. Do you guys have a preference, or you guys diversify? Because I feel like a lot of the native networks have really moved almost entirely to programmatic. And I just wasn't sure if you guys have seen differences or maybe what your preference is when you're running native ads.
Well, when we are, well, first of all, since it's a very dynamic environment, and in the native you have multiple sources of traffic, so actually it is very hard to distinguish. Sometimes you think that you are buying native traffic from native traffic sources, but actually on the back end there's an exchange or there's another DSP. But at the end of the day, as a media buyer, you don't see that difference unless you pay very close attention to your CPCs or the other metrics. Because if you add more layers between the traffic sources, of course your CPC will increase, but this is not visible to a fresh media buyer, because he doesn't, or she doesn't know how much he or she should pay for the specific, let's say, MSN. So the more layers you have in between the traffic sources, you're going to pay more. But of course, this knowledge comes, I think, after a couple of years experience by memorizing all the sections. So if we can ask Berk right now, he can, I'm sure that you give him a geo and one country, he can just count all the top traffic sources by heart, because this is what he's doing. He's memorizing, he's feeling the sources. So I think the media buyer in the level of Berk can say the difference between the programmatic and the DSPs and the direct native media buying. But I don't think that other media buyers who recently started their career would say the difference. They don't even understand if they are receiving in-app traffic or incentive traffic. It just takes time to understand and just requires some experience to distinguish them.
Awesome. No, appreciate that. And yeah, Berk, sounds like you have a party trick that is really impressive to a small group of people, like maybe a party of 5, but they would be very impressed with the memorization of those bits there. So yeah, I guess if you had did you have anything to add to that?
Well, actually, yes. I mean, we also tried to buy native traffic through programmatic, but we didn't see value on it. I mean, we didn't see like too much value on it to invest more time. So we still prefer to stay on like native platforms. And as Batu said, yes, there are some like publisher sections sources that we get through programmatic, but those are still will be running with platform algorithms, not like DSP platform algorithm. It's different. So I mean, the traffic source that we get through Outbrain or Taboola, we still gonna have algorithm applied to those sections. So that's why it's gonna be still more valuable for us.
Nice. Okay. Awesome. That I really appreciate that. That helps a ton. And so one other question, then I want to talk a little bit about how working with like platforms like ClickBank is beneficial to you guys. But before we do that, I want to ask one more question about the different native traffic networks, or like sources to get them, whether Spoola, Outbrain, Rev Content, and the others. So, and this is more for people when they're starting out. So if you're first starting out native ads, do you have maybe a recommendation or a network that maybe they should start on first if they're trying to get native ads versus another one?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I think we.
And if you don't want to say it because you don't want to hurt any relationships, we're
No,
fine.
no. I mean, I'll be
that.
super practical. Like, I'm gonna give the answers as if I start today. You know, like, because yeah,
Perfect.
exactly.
Perfect.
So I would start with AdsKeeper. I mean, this sounds. I mean, maybe not conventional, but I'm saying AdsKeeper because the policy is much easier than the other networks. In Outbrain, in Taboola, you won't be able to run the same ads that you run in Adskeeper. That's for sure. Like you can be more aggressive. You can pay less CPC, and because your CTR is higher than what you're gonna have in Outbrain and Taboola because of the aggressiveness of the ads. So that's why I would start with Adskeeper, and also you can understand um how much you, in Adskeeper you can still bid on sections. I'm not sure if you're familiar with this terminology, but normally in native ads, we used to bid every sources. So we used to put a bid for every sources. But since the evolution of smart algorithms, now in Outbrain in Taboola, it's not available. But in Adskeeper, you can still bid by section. So it's also more you can learn more about media buying because one of the most important part of media buying is to understand how much you should bid for each sources. So that's why I would say Adskeeper, because they like people who are gonna start today probably gonna suffer rejection a lot, and I know that it is sometimes very disappointing. You know, like we still have this feeling whenever our ads are rejected. So that's why I would say start from there, and then you can go out in Taboola once you figure out your funnel and you understand more about the campaign.
I think that's awesome advice. Start off in a playground that's a little bit more forgiving, but it teaches you, and you're going to have to force yourself to learn the things you really need to know. I love that. I think you're right. It's not traditional, but it makes a ton of sense. So, no, I like that a lot. But dude, do you have anything to add to that? You had some great smiles too when I mentioned, so I figure there's some
Well,
good thoughts there.
actually, I agree with what Berk said because let's put it in this way to make it visualized for everyone. So he said at skipper because I think it's like learning how to drive a car in a manual gear car. So with at skipper you can do this. And once you understand the auto gear cars, like the brand new fancy models, it's gonna be like a piece of cake, like it's easier. But of course, another point is he mentioned that the rejections. So I think everybody thinks that you put the ads, someone just approves them, and you start receiving the traffic. But you cannot imagine what kind of rejections or what kind of ad policies are being applied, and those rejections are really sometimes becoming frustrating, and you want to give up. You say, okay, this is not gonna work. Or maybe your ads is already working, and then immediately they get it, they made it rejected. So these are the frustrating things. So in order to be not frustrated, I think Keeper is a good platform to start after you understand the basics and the how to drive a car. Then you can go to the highway.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
On a self-driving one.
yeah, exactly. Like Outbrain Taboola is still the most reliable networks, I would say. Like, if you want to scale, you need to run campaign in Outbrain or and Taboola. That's for sure. That's what we do as well. Like that's why I think the strength of Maverick is coming from like running many different verticals in many different
Mhm.
platforms. So that's why we are more flexible than the other players. You know, like yes, sometimes like one weight loss offer is going bad or one prostate offer is going bad, but we have other options. It's about like yeah,
Diversification.
exactly, diversification and being flexible.
No, that's fantastic. And I think I love the advice of the rejection, just talking to that rejection, because that is a real piece that I think people don't want to address. And we all want to be like, I could take all the rejection in the world. And I was like, no, you can't. Like, listen, online dating exists because we decided as human beings, we can't take all that rejection. We'd like somebody to make it easier. So, all right. Now, that being said, I want to go into Well, actually, let's pause and I want to take one quick drill. You mentioned diversification, and you also mentioned e-com is something you guys advertise leads. Let me ask you this: how does your marketing change or your ad strategies change when you're doing, say, a direct response supplement or health offer versus doing something that's more e-com, might be like a gadget or a gizmo? What shifts in your guys' marketing?
Well, those are the different verticals, so obviously you cannot implement the same strategy for those verticals. For instance, in the direct response, in the health niche, you are more flexible because the end goal is, I mean, the product that you are selling is solving a problem. So, and people are demanding for this product because this problem exists, so that there's a demand for it. But on the e-com side, you're a bit limited because let's say that you are selling an AC, air cooler. What it does is cooling the air. You cannot say that this air cooler is also making espresso for you. So you are a bit limited.
I'd want that air cooler. I'll
Well,
tell you what, if it could give me some espresso and some cold air, damn, that's awesome. Yeah.
and when it comes to the lead gen, most of the lead gen campaigns are regulated by bigger authorities, so you don't have the flexibility there. So the image that you are using or the lingo that you are using needs to be regulated by the bigger authorities. So that's why I would say the direct response in the health niche is my favorite because it just with little bit creativity you can get very good results. But when it comes to e-com and lead gen, you need to be more strict. Of course, creativity helps, but you are more limited than the health niche.
Which I imagine makes the competition pretty challenging when you're bidding against the same things, because instead of having this realm to work with, you can't see my hands because the picture's so small, but you're in like this box with the same amount of people, sometimes even more, I would imagine, in terms of competition with affiliates too. So no, that makes a ton of sense, and I appreciate that. So, well, let's go into the other question that, and I'll be honest, guys, it's a little bit self-serving. I apologize, but we'd love to really know, like, what's the benefit to a company like yours working with a company like ours or networks? How is that beneficial for you guys versus maybe just going direct and trying to do direct arrangements, or trying to even flip to more of an agency model? Why is this kind of affiliate network model been best for you?
I can answer that. Uh, Actually, it is super easy. ClickBank has been in the market since 1999, if I'm not mistaken. So,
We have,
I
yes, which is like hundreds of years on the internet,
yeah.
right?
So I was 9 years old, probably playing with my Microsoft 96, playing Super Mario or something. So you guys have been in this area even before all the super affiliates or media buyers. So basically, most of them, I mean, I think all of the media buyers, they trust ClickBank. The trust is the, I think, biggest component of the success between the companies, and the success never comes with only media buyers. So when I approach ClickBank or the new vendor through ClickBank, I say, okay, ClickBank is working with this vendor, so they must know something for sure. I mean, they must know something that I don't know about this vendor, so they onboard this advertiser or the vendor. So it's all about the trust and all about the expertise you have, because basically we are handling the traffic side on the business and you are handling the onboarding the vendor and all the technical aspects of it. So without you we wouldn't exist, and we know that you have been doing great and you have been there since the internet is born. So I think
Yeah, pretty
it,
much. Al Gore invented it. We came soon afterwards. Yeah.
and also I want to emphasize the fact that the people in ClickBank, I mean, you cannot see this kind of the relationships in other companies. I'm not comparing ClickBank to another similar platform. I'm talking in general. So usually people go to work just to make money and come back home to maintain their life. But the people working in ClickBank, I think they go there just to meet friends. Like they are not under pressure of working or delivering uh, the immediate results or whatever. They are super chill, super friendly, and super easygoing, and they are having fun. So when you have fun at what you do, I think it brings the results afterward. So that's I want to say hi and thanks to all ClickBank team. Yeah, you're amazing.
Awesome. Batug, that was fantastic. Appreciate it. So we did not pay him for that. That was
Yeah,
all organic.
well, you guys are making our life much easier. I mean, so that's one of the reasons, and the second reason is all those diamond events.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
love that. Yes, yes. We got a nice big thumbs up from our producer right over here who gets to film those diamond events, and he would agree. They are fantastic. So yeah. So, well, I think one of the big questions about that too is like with the diamond events, talk to like, you kind of mentioned the fun, the laid backness, but what's so valuable about these kind of premier events where ClickBank will take top affiliates, top offer owners, and just lock them in a room together at a nice resort? It's not to say that it's like an escape room with no fun, right? Like, no, we find good places, right?
Well, I would say it's much more valuable than going to affiliate conference because everybody you meet there, it's like that they know like they're good at their business. So I think this is very key component I would say because when you go to affiliate world you talk with 1,000 different people and then like out of 1,000 there is only 2 lead or 3 lead, I don't know, so that's why I would say these kind of events that filter all those crowd from real business owners, real business makers, that gives us a lot of value, I would say.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. And I honestly, it's one of the reasons we constructed that way. You don't have to sift through all the crap because we've done it for you. We found who the cream of the crop is. We put them all in the same place for everyone to just have some fun, powerful networking. And just circling back to what you said, Batu, I think it's really big as well to think it's not just the great relationships, but as a part of that, we want you to succeed. We want the offer owner to succeed. And that's why I think those relationships work. We're not just doing it to hang out and have fun. We also want to do it to make sure that both of your businesses are improved in that process. So effectively, you start becoming not only someone that's going to make sure that you guys are getting paid quickly on time, so you don't have to be bill collectors with clients, which is not fun. No one started this to want to do that. Knowing that it's going to work, that they're going to process click payments, all that. But I think more importantly, we're going to sit here and serve you up new offers as much as often. You don't have to be as much as a biz dev person going out finding offers that you don't have proof on. You're taking somebody's word, which as much as we'd love to trust the word of somebody else, we all know that's a bad idea, right? So having some hard numbers, some proof and data beforehand to keep that biz dev going, I could see how that'd be really valuable. So, well, guys, we're getting close on time. I really appreciate you provided us so much. And I know it's getting close to just, that beautiful time in Barcelona where everything shuts down and you guys just drink until 8 o'clock when you get to eat dinner again, enjoy some beaches, all that fun stuff. Before I let you guys go, though, I'd love if there's just anything else you want to speak out to the audience. Here's your soapbox opportunity, whatever you guys want to say. We'll just live free form of if there's anything else you want to mention or throw out there. We'll start with you. Berk, and then we'll finish with the two.
All right. Yes. So I would say if you're a new affiliate that's looking for a campaign to start, I would say ClickBank is the one of the best options. I would say it's much easier. You don't need to deal with business development, as you said. And then what I can say, like we are really happy with the relationship with you guys, and that's it.
Perfect. Hey, yeah, simplicity is fine. It doesn't have to be anything about us. Just anything you want to say, Berk. So that's totally okay. He does not want you to ever come to Barcelona, though. It's a terrible city. He doesn't want more people there. I'm assuming.
No, it's it's amazing place. It's
Yeah.
amazing place to live, Barcelona.
Yeah. Yeah. But too, what about you? Any last words you want to share with the audience?
If anyone is willing to enter this space as a vendor or an affiliate, I just want them to know that Maverick Media is here to help. We are just we are here to help. Yeah, literally. I mean, we as a company we don't require any any budgets to test, any other things. If you're a vendor and if you have an offer, if you're willing to test, just come to us and say, hey, look, we want to run this, whatever, so we can see how it works. And if you're an affiliate trying to enter the native space, just don't be shy. You can always ping us, because we believe that if you share the information, it grows everyone. So that's why in Maverick we value the transparency a lot. Sometimes I don't want to make it long, but we ask the data from the advertisers, not because we don't trust them. It's because we also provide the transparency, not only with the data but also the information, because it's a small world, and I think working together with the competitors, with the vendors, with other affiliates will make this industry better. So if you're out there hearing me, just come and say hi in an affiliate conference or in one of the Diamond Platinum events. We would be happy to talk and help you.
Yeah, awesome, Batug. And just to build off that, I love what you said, because I think it's easy to get caught up in your own world and thinking that it has to represent this competitive zero-sum game. But at the end of the day, every single person in this industry, almost all of them, are still considered small business owners in the grand scheme of the money that's being made out there. And we are not competing with Google. We are not competing with Facebook. They have money that's insane. So by working together and coming together, we could really elevate and allow everyone to, have some success. They're willing to work hard, be good people, be honest, and share in that collaborative environment. So I love what you said, like, hey, we're not trying to be sneaky when we ask for numbers. It's about transparency of mutual success. If we don't know where you're at, it's hard to know where you need to go, right? So you need those numbers to have that. So I just really love that, because that's an attitude that we really believe at ClickBank, is that we win together. And it's one of the reasons we love working and having clients like you guys, not just because you're amazing people, but from a mission standpoint, we all agree on that same belief that winning as a lone wolf is temporary and it's not satisfying, right? Who wants to be on the mountain alone? I want to be on the mountain with the people that we got there together. It's a team that leads to success. And we're just grateful to be a part of your guys' team any chance we get. So, Berk, looks like you're ready to say something awesome, inspiring. So we have the floor before we wrap it all up.
Well, I mean, yeah.
I put you on the spot
exactly.
like
I didn't expect that. I'm sorry. Well,
you're good,
yeah,
you're good.
as I agree whatever Batu said, he's more he's better than me on those things, because he deals with more people than me. I mean, I only deal with few people in the office. It's always easier to deal with numbers than people. I always say that. That's why the one of the part that I like about my job.
Yeah. Yeah, I was an accounting major. I understand numbers over people. They're a little more consistent, easier to read. I get that. So, well, you know what, guys? What I want to say is, again, really appreciate your time. Appreciate everything you guys do for us, and appreciate everything you do for anyone you interact with. So, as the last thing out there, if you're an offer owner, and like Batu said, if you're looking to scratch into native, or maybe you tried in the past and it didn't work, talk to them. And if you don't know how to get in hold of them, reach out to your account manager or myself. You can even email us at affiliated@clickbank.com, and we'd be happy to have a conversation with you. Make sure it makes sense. We don't want to send Batu stuff that's just not going to be worth anyone's time, right? But, reach out to us. We want to facilitate that. And more importantly, also reach out with any other questions. Who are the other people you want us to talk to? What are the things in your business that are really making it hard? Be sure to rate, review, subscribe, all the other things. But until next time, again, thank you so much for the time with our guests. And for all you listeners out there, be safe. And what Thomas would normally say is, he's not here, happy scaling. And I just say, until next time, have a good one. Bye, everyone.